Yep.
Beware.
What'd you say?
Nothing for you. Ah. Darkness.
I didn't think you could interrupt his power blast, but apparently you can.
Yep. Hurry up, guys.
Beware.
The good news is this last fight is a joke. And all the fights in here are a joke.
Yeah.
Let's go. We have
Merlin!
4 minutes to kill 2 enemies. And my speed boost just failed. More than likely we'll have kill a pack.
And we'll wipe.
As long as we kill 2.
Yeah, kill 2 before we die.
We can CC the shit out of it. No, don't. One more.
So you're saying there's a chance?
And there's a big fucking group there.
Good for the cannoners.
Just use a bunch of CC on it and pull a couple. Never mind. Can't be CC'd.
That one CC'd. Just interrupt the evoker. Let's go.
Okay. Yeah! Ooh.
That was actually easy. Alright. Next. You hate Shadow, but I love healing.
Man, I really wish they'd let me use disengage even out of combat. Fucking.
Scarlet Monastery, you said?
Yeah, we might as well while we're here. We need Storm Stout, Shadow Cannon, SM. That's it.
Well, you and I, but the others need a couple more.
Well, the other instances are very, very easy.
It's true.
Okay, remember on this one, I'm gonna watch the video. I suggest everybody just go watch the video right now, completely. So we don't have any questions. Sound good? It'd probably take us a lot longer to explain shit going through it than just watching one 15-minute video.
Where is it?
Just look up
Aftermath.
Scarlet Hall, so is it Scarlet Monastery?
Monastery.
That makes sense, considering where we fight the end boss. This guy that explains it, the tank, does a really good job. Marza.
You keep me moving, keep me right on track. Nothing you do.
Welcome to Aftermath's Gold Challenge Mode Guide. I'm Marza, and this is Scarlet
It's a good thing
Monastery.
the first thing he says is the most difficult challenge
Scarlet
mode you can
Monastery
do.
is one of the most difficult challenge modes that you can do. For this first pull, you want to target this pile of corpses. It will keep spawning zombies. And you want to pre-pot before you pull on this one, because your DPS is really going to matter. Once the pile of corpses goes down, there's a Scarlet Flamethrower, which you can see is already dead, and 2 Scarlet Centurions. Usually those 3 will be fairly equal in life, and you'll want to switch between them and kind of cleave them down. As we kill this group, we're going to move on. The 2 headstones in this graveyard here, you want to run fairly close to the edge of them in a straight line out, like I just did. Otherwise you will aggro the group in the middle of the graveyard, and if you go too far the other way you will aggro the group on the wall. Here we pull both packs of groups onto the middle with the boss, and I'm channeling a snare and stun. You don't want to put very much damage into them, preferably none, until after the tank is away. We are trying to keep the boss on top of them long enough for the Warlock to do some AE, he'll gain some damage out of it. You can also continue to tank the boss near them if you need more AE, like right there. I could keep him fairly close there and keep blood boiling them if I chose to, but that wasn't part of our strategy. So the empowered zombies that he summons. If you have a DK in your group, they can control undead them to get a little bit of extra damage and to get a little relief for your tank and healer because they hit fairly hard. If you don't have one, that's fine. Just off-tank them the whole fight. You will probably get 2. You also want to interrupt the Spirit Gales that he casts, if at all possible. They put a circle underneath the tank that does a fairly nasty magic dot if you continue to stand in it. It leaves a debuff, so it's really easy to see when you're standing in it. And if you have several melee, then they'll be able to keep it interrupted, and they'll want to, so that you're not moving the boss around too much. You can see here the second zombie spawns, and we're just off-tanking it for the rest of the fight. This first fight is one where you're going to use Bloodlust and any cooldowns, any major cooldowns you have, DPS-wise, such as Doom Guards or any 5+ minute cooldowns. You will want to use them here and again on the last boss. I should note, although you are using cooldowns, you cannot use a DPS potion here. You will be using an invisibility potion. There are actually several ways to proceed through this instance with different potion usage. For this pull, to get the correct amount of mobs in the instance, we opt to pull these 2 yellow mobs. If that patrol were not there, we would simply kill these 2 yellow mobs before we pulled it. Since it was, we pulled all of it together, and I'm using Icebound Fortitude and all of my other cooldowns, as well as stunning these mobs to prevent them from casting. Our druid has gone tree form as well. This is possibly the heaviest damage pack you will find in any challenge mode. As the tank, I try to target the Zealot and get his heals. He doesn't do a lot of damage, but the heals will be nasty. All the DPS should be focusing the Scarlet Purifiers. The Purifiers will cast Cleansing Flame or Purifying Flame, and it's a single target nuke on your tank for about 160,000 damage. And there are 2 of them in this pack. They also do Flame Strike that does significant AE damage on the floor. The Judicators that we pulled, the 2 yellow mobs, do a stun, so ideally we don't pull them with that pack, but if the timing lines up that way, you don't really want to fiddle around with it. You just want to pull it all and hope that you can get it. Here we clump up by the window and use an 18-second invisibility potion with a Roar. You can also use 15-second invisibility potions with a Aspect of the Pack. Or you could probably use 18 with any kind of movement speed increase. If you don't have a movement speed increase, you may need to kill the next pack of 3 mobs before you use a potion, in which case you have plenty of time to make it. So here, we don't want to aggro any of these other mobs, so I'm waiting for the boss to patrol away. We're going to fight him in this fountain. As you can see, there are mobs on the left and the right. We don't have a whole lot of room to fight him on. The range needs to be disciplined and make sure that they are never running out of that firestorm kick and into mobs. They have to run towards me. And I'm facing him towards the waterfall so that I can just run away from the blazing fists without it hitting anybody else. The blazing fists do a lot of damage. Your tank cannot just stand in them on challenge mode. The firestorm kick does not do a terrible amount of damage early on, but as he gains stacks of his buff that causes him to do more fire damage, it will start to do a lot. It will pretty much get into 2-shot range by the end of the fight. People need to be very quick reacting to it. Also, around 40% or so, or 50%, he will get another buff, Scorched Earth right there, where he starts dropping patches of fire everywhere that he walks. You can see there's a patch where he was just standing. Try to keep him in the same patch all the time, so that the melee don't have to worry about avoiding it. And it should never be a factor. Nobody should ever step in it. So after this boss dies, you're going to see that we move between the two groups of ads that he starts with, so that we don't aggro either of them. You'll see 2 benches on the edge of this fountain. You want to align yourself directly in the middle of them, so that you are walking down the middle of this tile right here. If you go any farther to the left or right, you will aggro more. We double pull these 2 solo purifiers while our healer is drinking, because he wasted a lot of mana on that boss. It does a ton of damage. And all of the pulls in this cathedral you have to kill. They aggro with the last boss, and they are all fairly damaging as well. The idea with this next pull is to pull this group and LOS it behind the pillar. Unfortunately, not everybody else was behind the pillar with me, so you can see that it goes a little haywire. We managed to pull this out, but ideally, you get them tightly clumped on the pillar, you stun them, and you burn them down. As always, the purifiers are DPS targets, and the zealots are tank interrupt targets because of the heal. Our healer's pretty much again, so we're pulling purifiers. We tend to let the healer mana dictate what we pull in this particular room. If your healer has a lot of mana and you have cooldowns, it would also have been fine to pull the second large pack on the left. But instead he was low on mana, so we pulled the purifiers, and then we pulled this AE group around the corner. This Scarlet Zealot that I'm targeting is the same as all the rest. It has a lot of health and it heals. The Scarlet Initiates have much less health, but they also heal, so you want to get this whole group stunned and AE down as quickly as possible. This next pull is much like before, where we're trying to LOS it around the pillar. I'm using Army of Dead to mitigate
So it didn't
some
seem
of the damage that these mobs will do.
crazy.
Again, the LOS doesn't quite go as planned as people go to different pillars,
I remember that.
but with the army
yellow
there, it
pull
doesn't really matter. They're
killing
constant
it
and they're not really hurting anybody.
It's because we did it on accident all the time. I know I mistargeted it once.
You also can see that we got one of the patrolling mobs, the
Oh,
Judicator.
yeah.
This room
I know what
has
you're
mobs
talking
that
about, though.
patrol
Pulling that big
from
pack.
the
That big pack was a
far
bitch.
southeast section, or the left.
If we
as you're
want,
walking in
since
towards the
we're,
boss.
you know,
They
we're
spawn
going for silver,
probably
really,
every 30
we
or 40
can
seconds.
just
And they walk out
CC
and
it
then
a little
despawn.
bit.
We'll just keep
Bagels
respawning
can grab a
Judicator.
purifier, MC
They
that.
do count towards
That
your
sounds
mob
good.
kill limit.
And then the
so
other
it can be
purifier
somewhat
can just be,
random how many
well,
mobs
actually,
you
you're gonna
need
target
to
the
get
zealot.
We
to-
opt to pull the boss and get these 3 with it.
But the other
Focus down
guys,
these 2
we can get
Judicators
on the
because
other
they'll stun the
purifier.
tank.
I'll mark one
And
for
we CC'd the
Bagels.
healer over there, the zealot. If you
Let
need
me.
another mob, you can just pull that zealot. I still recommend CCing it until you've killed the Judicators, because you don't want to deal with it.
I'm gonna run out and see how many invis spots I have.
But in this
We have
case, we have
15
the exact
left.
amount of mobs we need, so we just
Okay.
have to over there
Might as
for
well-
the rest of the fight.
Pass them out. I'm gonna check.
This first boss doesn't really do anything. The commander
Who
he does
needs
this
some?
bouncing around thing. We